Eritu ano to obunaru fata aniro anna fatadam. Eritu ano to obunaru fata aniro anna fatadam.
Late afternoon, I came home from language learning in the village, and when I opened our front door, a beautiful smell hit me in the face. Lakin had cooked fettuccine alfredo from scratch with homemade garlic bread. My stomach groaned and I was thrilled to see the table already set. Oh, I married a good one. Cooking from scratch in the jungle is no joke. It takes serious preparation and work, and Lakin doesn't hold back. Oh, she must love cooking. Au contraire, but it's a skill set that she's learned because she loves us. And it's not just normal cooking, it's cooking in the jungle, where you can only start with raw ingredients, flour, oil, salt, butter. No pre-made meals, no just add water, no just pop it in the oven. She also makes her own brown sugar, her own ranch dressing for homemade pizza every Friday, with breadsticks and marinara sauce from scratch, fried rice from scratch every Asian night, homemade tortillas for taco night, fresh bread multiple times a week, and perhaps our favorite, her homemade pumpkin soup made from pumpkins from our own garden. That is when the village kids don't steal our pumpkins first. Anyway, fettuccine alfredo. Dinner was great. We cleaned up the kitchen, did bath time, did Bible time, put the kids to bed, normal night. But our oldest, Thatcher, probably 6 or 7 at the time, didn't want to go to sleep. Thatcher kept whining and we kept going in to tell him to go to sleep. For Lakin and I, night was our only time together. No babysitters out here. But not this night. We were ping-ponging in and out of Thatcher's room every time he whined for us. I got frustrated. Probably spoke to him too harshly. He usually never did this. He was a great sleeper. I didn't know what was going on, but it needed to stop. Finally, next to our bed, Thatcher appeared out of the dark and made Lakin scream. Like a ninja, he was just outside of our mosquito net, lurking in the darkness. It's a skill that I think all kids are just born with. We asked him what was wrong, but he wouldn't answer us. We kept asking, but he just stood there silently in the dark. And then he started crying. He couldn't talk, and then the crying made him gag. This happened at least 3 hours after dinner. He had already showered, brushed his teeth, we read a story, put him to bed, and he was still awake. But the gagging made me hop up. That meant something was probably caught in his throat. I got my flashlight and pried his tongue down to try to take a look. Nothing. Clear. He was breathing fine, but crying and sometimes gagging. So we sent him back to bed. But Lakin and I were both worried. What was going on? We didn't have any fish bones for dinner. What in the world was bothering him? He wouldn't say anything. He wouldn't answer us. It was too late to call the mission doctor in town. Everybody would be in bed. And I hated being there in the jungle again. Even if we could call him, what could they do? Thatcher was back at our bedside again, gagging again. We gave him some water. He still wasn't speaking. I looked in his throat again, still nothing. But when I tilted his head back, I did notice a big booger in his left nostril, an extra big one. Wait a minute, no, that's not a booger. We made him blow his nose, and it hurt him. He kept gagging. I got some tweezers, but I couldn't reach whatever it was. He blew his nose, and he cried, and then he gagged a final time, and he spit up a fettuccine noodle about 2 inches long. We could all breathe again, and Thatcher drank some more water. In our relief, I tried to make a joke. Thatch, next time you eat Mom's noodles, don't put it in your nose. He almost laughed. It was enough for us to know that he was better. The adrenaline pumping didn't make for a good night's rest. It was just a noodle, and it came out relatively easily. But deep in the swamps, in Papua New Guinea, away from medical care, isolated in the jungle, it all feels so much worse. Out here, that noodle is enough to make you question everything. Enough to make you want to pack it all in and say, we gave it a try, God is calling us somewhere else. And perhaps those few scary minutes alone would never be enough. But when those moments are stacked on one another, when they keep coming, that's when we're tested. But here's a unique grace that we've been shown by God himself. There are many, many days when I am ready to quit and go home. And there are many, many days when Lakin is ready to go home too. But somehow in our 10 years out here, those days have never happened at the same time. Is that a coincidence? Maybe a psychological phenomenon? We've seen too many prayers answered to believe that that's just chance. There are too many people praying for us back home, for the people of Wabaku to hear and believe the gospel. And those prayers are being answered.